show. Salutations. How do you like my little attempt at cultural appropriation? It's time for the flag bearer of human fortitude, your shield for public stupidity, the counterpunch you've been waiting for, the backlash you're counting on. It's Brian. I'm in, and very glad you joined us for today's ride. So what do you say? Let's get ready to mortal up. Good morning. Welcome to your 20-minute victory, bright and early, 6 a.m. It's an honor to be hanging out with you. I guess you could say we could kick this off, right? Here we go. Why do I always say, look, give me 20 minutes, we'll mortal up, and then we'll go and get your magic. We'll get it out because this is an archaeological dig. But let me get to something here first, as I promised I will do. Here's our prayer bowl standing in for our gong. There you go, our prayer bowl to kick off the festivities this morning. As I say, where are we? Episode 483 of the Brian Brawdy Show. Thank you all so very much. I would not be at this position, 483 episodes, if it weren't for your encouragement and support. So let's get back to it again. Remember, 20 minutes to mortal up. Go in and get your magic out. We were talking about it yesterday on the Sunday version of what we do. Which you're familiar with. It's called All Natural Being. We try to get together, try to put everything aside and get together. But yesterday we talked about this concept of getting your magic. It's an archaeological dig. It's an excavation. It's like you're buried in an avalanche, right? It's ancient history, your ancient history, where we go back and say, okay, great. What do we got to do to go in and get your great out? And that's the focus of today's show. So I've got about 17 minutes left. You give me 17 minutes. Let's see what kind of damage you and I can do. Can we go in? Because I believe everything you've ever needed, you've always had. Everything. You come pre-equipped. All your natural resources, the marrow of your mind. And we went into this yesterday in detail over on All Natural Being. So if you want to go to our YouTube site or mortalup.com, head on over to mortalup.com. Wayne's doing a great job from the studio. He's got all of our live shows, all of our past shows, all of our coming shows, everything's over there. And you can also go ahead, you can nominate for Mortal Up. You can nominate for Low Life's Making Headlines. Everything. It's kind of like the hub, mortalup.com. So head on over there. We're talking about that a little bit later as well. But for now, I wanted to give you an idea on a segment we should call How I Spent My Sunday Morning. But in any event, yesterday, I'm driving around, heading over to the store. I had to go over to the store, get in, get out. You know what I mean? Which is, it's so sad. You go to the store now, and there's just an air of defeat. Everyone just seems so beat down. 6-foot rules. Everyone's got not all of us, but got masks. All this other thing. It just seems heavy. Just like the barometric pressure is low, and everyone just seems so blah. But in any event, went to the store, heading back, and I had to hit the brakes real quick. Pull over a little song on the side of the road. I saw this. So here's a tree. Apparently, it got to be a huge tree if you could count the rings on the other side. It's a massive tree. It was cut down. But what caught my eye was, look at this. On the outside, it's facade. It's bark. Everything looks pretty good. It's like got some character to it. But on the inside, absolutely hollow. Right? The termites or whatever bugs that have gotten to it, the rot, everything looked good on the outside of the persona, but on the inside, absolutely empty. Absolutely hollow. And my sense is they cut it down before it had a chance to fall over on anyone. So let me ask you ever feel like that? You ever feel a little empty? You ever feel a little hollow? Ever feel like there's got to be more to life? You know that I believe here in the labyrinth of life, the Garden of Mortals itself, you have to weaponize everything. And by that I mean, I know it's terribly militaristic of me, but by that I mean you find, because everything you've ever needed, you've always had. Come pre-assembled. Batteries, don't worry about the batteries, they're already included. Everything, your mind's marrow, your authentic vigor, your buried logic, your own list of natural resources, they're all in there. And in that moment, when you decide to tap into those things, when you're congruent with who you are, it's my belief that the universe makes everything happen for you. The ups, the downs, the lefts, the rights, the pivots, the swerves, cul-de-sacs, never a dead end here in the labyrinth of life, the garden of the mortals itself. And I often wonder, aliens flying around in their little spaceships and this and that. You know what I mean? Look down and go, well, why are they studying us? Well, because they want to be mortal like you and me. Aliens think, oh, it's got to be a good gig to be, right? To be born on the Earth. Got to be a good big gig to be hanging out here, because why would they spend all the time and effort sending all the flying saucers, the cigar shape, the triangle shape, all these different shapes? Why would the aliens, right? If we were just a dull breed, right, all blunted brains, aliens would go, they're blunted brains, who cares? Well, they apparently care. So all I'm suggesting to you is, what do they care about? Well, we're mortals. So when you and I mortal up, that's how we begin to defeat the very emptiness, the very hollowness, the very rot that I saw in this tree yesterday. All right, let's get to our audio vitamin. And as it is, the universe, it all ties in. Let's get to it real quick. Welcome to your audio vitamin, or as we like to call it around here, sound bites that you can wash down with your first cup of coffee. First cup of coffee, how about... I can't get by on one. I don't know about you, but I'll get by on one. All right, so our audio vitamin for today, if you will, kind of paraphrasing our good friend Ray Bradbury, Fahrenheit 451. And the question, or the audio vitamin for today, is, how do you get so empty? Who does the smash and grab? Now, left over from my days in law enforcement, I apologize again for another militaristic term or another law enforcement term, but who does the smash and grab? Your hollow, your core, your emptiness. It's on you. Somebody reached down your throat, grabbed a chunk of you out of it and goes, now you're hollow. I got this right here. This was a part of you. There you go. Now you're hollow. Didn't happen that way. You had to surrender it. You had to give it up. You brought on this feeling of empty. Bradbury asks, who does the smash and grab? Who are those people in your life that you allow to reach in and play you like a puppet? Who's the marionette? Who's the keeper of the spray cans of graffiti? Who's the keeper of the remote control that you allow in to vacuum up your core? Now, if you think about it, vacuum, what a great word, huh? If you vacuum up your core, as you know, nature abhors a vacuum. So you're busy. You get this big hollowness. So what do? Oh, maybe you and I overeat, we overdrink, we oversex, we overshop, we overread, we overrun, whatever it is that we're doing to try to fill this void, this vacuum, this emptiness, this hollowness. We try to fill it. Well, what if we fill it with stuff that isn't necessarily good for us? That's when I talk about binge thinking. That's when I talk about being philosophically chunky, if you will. So what can you and I do? We can look at the things, the different lists of things that we do to try to fill that void, or we could say of that void, you know what, now that I got that void, I'm a little closer to my core. I'm a little closer to the collapse of the wave function, which I believe we went over on Friday. If not, we will most certainly went over it on All Natural Being yesterday. If you get a chance, head on over to mortalup.com. Wayne's done such a great job from the studio in Michigan. He's on lockdown, right? He's not allowed to go. He's not even allowed to go. He can barely go to his mailbox because, hey, that's a great question. You know what? Since you're not allowed to go to another residence, what if you share a mailbox with someone? Can you go there? Is that going to get you in trouble? I should ask Wayne. So if you head on over to mortalup.com, you'll have a chance to get those videos. Wayne's put it all together there, and you'll be able to see yesterday when we talked about the collapse of the wave function. So when you have this sense of hollowness, and I know it's heavy, I know, right? When we talk all the time about put the sadness down, PTSD, put the shock down, put the stress down. I know it can be heavy. But inside of that hollowness, inside of all that emptiness, you and I are closer to our all-natural being. As we said earlier, it's a rescue mission. You're an archaeological dig, an avalanche victim waiting to be pulled out from underneath all of the crap that's been laid on you since you were little. And maybe with all this hollowness, all this emptiness, we're closer to being able to tap our natural resources, right? When we study the ancient history, I don't give a crap about ancient history. I'm talking about your ancient history. We go back to day one, and we're closer when we go back. Closer to the wave, closer to who we ultimately are. And why do I think that's so important? Because I believe when you get back there and you realize, I believe as they talked about before, the moment one commits, remember the Himalayan expedition, the moment one commits, all providence moves too. Or Sylvia Plath, you read her sentence about emptiness and you go, okay, great. It's like the eye of a tornado. All the craziness whirling around behind it, but it's nice and still and quiet, yet powerful with everything whipping around on its circle, on its circumference, in the middle. It's still and quiet. What if you and I use that emptiness? What if you and I use that stillness? What if we go, I'm not going to be a tree that's going to get knocked down. I'm going to use the emptiness to get me closer to my all-natural being. And why is that a big deal? I think because when the universe realizes that you realize who you ultimately are, that your natural resources, the marrow of your very mind, I think the universe, as we said, all providence moves too. I think the universe is so tired of dealing with human gettings that when they meet a human being, not busy going somewhere, busy doing something, busy trying to get some bauble, some trinket, some tchotchke, right? When they're not doing that, the universe goes, oh, she's pretty sharp. She's clued in. She knows what's going on up here. He knows how to play this hand. And when it does, it provides everything to you in this particular moment in all of time. Because if you know anything about me, you know in a heartfelt matter, I believe that everything you've ever needed, you've always had. You came pre-equipped. You've got it all. Now we got to get into it so that you don't have to get it. You got to get rid of all the stuff that blocks you from it. Get it. You already got it. What's there to get? I don't know. We can get rid of all kinds of crap. It's been laid all around you. The baggage, like you're a bellman, we can get rid of that baggage. But the real you is on the inside. And why do I think that's such a big deal? It's because my belief, once you do, and the universe starts to dovetail. I love this. Here's our friend, the grizzly bear. I think this was shot in Alaska, if I remember correctly. And what did this grizzly bear do? Oh, well, it needed a headrest. It was tired. It can be pretty tiring being a grizzly bear. So what did he do? Weaponized at hand, magnified the moment. His all-natural being says, I'm going to grab this log and use it to rest my jowls. Right? But the premise, still the same for you and I. We can weaponize the moment at hand. Here in the labyrinth of life itself, what is the universe trying to present to us? The Tao follows its own path. You know I believe that. So let me ask you, what is it? If you're not busy over shopping, over drinking, over eating, over sexing, over anything, what are some of those things that you could fill that vacuum with? What are some of those things? Your natural resources, your mind's marrow, your authentic vigor, all of those things. I think the closer you get getting into the vacuum and on the other side, it releases your ability to communicate. And I got to tell you, I think that's what the aliens want. I don't know, right? I think, I saw this thing the other day. Oh, well, the aliens, they use the UFOs because it's an anti-gravity thing. Well, great. Stop the gravity with you. You can be an anti-gravity machine. I wouldn't take up flying anytime soon, right? But in terms of wanting to drag everything to you, I got to get. You got nothing to get. You got plenty to get rid of. And remember who you ultimately are. Just like our friend, the grizzly bear, what is the universe trying to present to you? What's going on in your immediate surroundings that you could go, wow, isn't that a coincidence? Maybe this grizzly bear went, ooh, that's some serendipity going on, right? That's something going on. I was getting tired, and then all of a sudden the log popped up. All of a sudden, providence moved towards me. Carl Jung, synchronicity. He goes, oh, yeah, I'm all over that. Serendipity. Happenstance. What is the chance? What kind of luck that I could find this log exactly the right height in order for me to rest my jowls? You got to be going, wow, that's something else. And I believe It happens for you and I. When we remember who we ultimately are, when we're not busy in all the mashugana greatest, one of the top 10 greatest words ever created, you have to admit, mashugana, all the craziness, Sylvia Plath, everything spinning around the tornado, but you're in the center. You're the calm eye of the storm. Everything else rotates around you. What are the tools? What are the things? Everyone's looking for a sign. Well, maybe in this hollowness, this emptiness, this vacuum, you and I can hear that still small voice. You can hear the whisper. What's it telling you to do? What kind of log? If it throws a log out there for this grizzly bear, what kind of log is it leaving for you? That's my question. Maybe, just maybe, in terms of doing a 20-minute victory, we go, yeah, a little lonely, a little hollow, a little empty, a little sad. But that doesn't mean we have to run around and find all kinds of stuff to ingest. Thumbs up, viral videos, whatever it is. Applause from everyone else. Maybe we don't have to fill the void with that. Maybe we take time to drill down even deeper because I believe there's no place to ricochet like rock bottom. Just none. Maybe that will work for you. I most certainly know it has worked for me. All right, before we go, I wanted to let you know we will be doing this morning. It's kind of like the regular guys' mobile marketing. The Mortal Up picket signs. Well, I'll be walking. Here's what we're going to do for the remainder of this month, probably into May, as I come up on the anniversary of my 5th and, knock on wood, hopefully final brain surgery. Right? As I come up on the 1-year anniversary of that, we're going to do, right, I want to get out, get some fresh air, do a little bit of walking. I'll be walking with my mortalup.com protest signs. There's just little signs. Look like I'm on a picket line. But I figure, what are the police going to do to me? I get to walk back and forth to the grocery store here in the state of, how I'm out of here, if you remember the acronym. So I'll be doing that, and then what I'll be doing every day, as soon as we're done with the show, I'll be going out for a walk, and then tomorrow I have a little graph that says how far I made it. Maybe I'll snap a picture on this and that, but as I said, the everyday guy, the mobile marketing guide, for me, it's Mortal Up, getting people just to come. So if you wouldn't mind sharing this around or subscribing on YouTube if you haven't already, that would be great, and you could help me in the effort, help us in the effort here at Brawdy Associates to spread the word that regardless of how hollow you feel on the inside, maybe that's an opportunity for you to remember who you ultimately are. That your roots in the wave are what matter. And then when you're thankful for those roots in the wave, does the universe, serendipity, synchronicity, chance, luck, whatever you want to call it, does the universe help to weaponize your moment at hand so that you can pull off literally anything? I don't want to keep going back on it, but yesterday, Sunday morning, did a little thing about the sword in the stone. You can see it over on mortalup.com or on our YouTube page, but the sword in the stone, it wasn't made just for King Arthur. That was King Arthur's stone. That was King Arthur's sword. But there's a sword in the stone, and it's my estimation, my personal understanding, that when you go back to that emptiness, you go back to that vacuum, you go back to all of those places, that's when you come into contact with exactly what that sword is meant to be, what it's supposed to be. And when you tap into that, the reserve of natural resources, it will just blow you away. All right, we're going to go ahead and get out of here. Again, thank you so very much for joining us with us. Oh, it's this one down here. Thank you so very much for joining us. Don't forget, head on over to Mortal Up. If there's anything I can do for you throughout the rest of the week, please drop me a line. Let me know. You can sign up for Lowlife's Making Headlines nomination. You can sign up for your Mortal Up nomination. And, of course, all of the video, everything that we do. And we're not like that group where everyone's busy going through this hard time now. Everything, all of our programming, all the different things, all the classes, just send me an email. They're absolutely free. You need to get on the phone. You need to kick it around. We're here for you. All right, we're going to go ahead and get out of here. Thank you so very much for joining us. We will see you tomorrow morning after Mortal Up Mobile Marketing. See you then.